You're listening to the Do This First podcast, and I'm Santa, your host. I hope you're listening at the start of your day to get things going in the right direction. I have a question for you. Do you know what you're doing every minute of the day, even when you're off from work, or do you just kind of wing it? Well, today I'm going to share some thoughts and techniques that will help you tap into the power of intentionality. In our fast-paced and often chaotic world, it's easy to find ourselves going through the motions without truly living with purpose. However, by embracing intentionality, we can take control of our lives and create a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. Being intentional means consciously making choices that align with our values, our priorities, and our goals. It involves being present, self-aware, and deliberate in our thoughts, actions, and relationships. Today, I want to explore several essential ways to cultivate intentionality in your life, empowering your life to live with greater clarity, purpose, and satisfaction. So let's dive in. So first, understanding the importance of intentionality, how it really shapes our lives. You know that feeling when you're just kind of going through the motions and letting life carry you along without a clear direction? Yeah, that's what happens when you lack intentionality. But fear not, my friend, because intention has the power to transform your life. It's like a superpower. I'm not kidding about that. By setting clear intentions for what you want to achieve and how you want to show up in the world, you take the driver's seat and steer yourself towards a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Recognizing the consequences of a lack of intention is also really important. So basically, it's not great because once you start kind of looking at your life, you start realizing, gosh, I wanted to do this, but I didn't. And, if you look back 5 years ago, and then you look at where you're at now, you may not be where you thought you would be. So kind of think about, what the non-intentionality of your actions and choices, how that affects your life. So essentially, letting circumstances dictate your life, that's what non-intentionality looks like. So you might find yourself overwhelmed, constantly saying yes to things that don't align with your values or goals, and feeling like life is happening to you rather than through you, rather than you being at the steering wheel. By being more intentional, you regain control and you create a life that reflects your desires and aspirations. A lot of times things happen that you have no control over, but you absolutely have control over your life in terms of how you live it and how you're going to let things affect you. So the secret sauce to intentional living is basically all about being fully here now. This is like very straightforward. Rather than getting lost in the never-ending to-do list or dwelling on the past, take a moment to just pause, breathe, and notice the little things. That's why I love taking in a sunset every single day, because it makes me pause. You can't be busy and watch a sunset. Try it and you'll see. Turn off the phone, just relax and just look at the awesomeness that is a beautiful sunset in front of your eyes. Things like that really help you be present, be in the moment, instead of getting, taken up by all these other things that you think you need to do. So just allow yourself to make intentional choices that align with your values. And so you have to have a really clear picture of what those values, those priorities are. So picture this in terms of identifying your priorities. You're on a road trip, but you have no map or GPS. How would you know where to go? The same principle applies to life. Developing self-awareness is like having a compass to guide you. It's really that straightforward. Take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you, not what everyone else thinks should matter to you. What matters to you? What brings you joy? and what aligns with your values. When you know yourself well, you can identify your priorities and make intentional decisions that lead you closer to your goals. Another strategy, defining your values and core priorities. Those are really essential things to do. If you want to live intentionally, you need to know what you're striving for. You cannot hit a target that you don't know. If you don't know what you're trying to hit, you're going to miss all the shots because you have to know what your target is. So take a moment to reflect on your values and your core priorities. What truly matters to you? Really, you, not your mama or daddy, your boyfriend, husband, wife, or whoever, your friends. What matters to you? Is it building meaningful relationships? Is it pursuing a passion? Is it making a difference in the world? Then you have a clear understanding of your values. Then you can set your goals that align with them and make intentional choices that support your overall vision. The other thing that's really important is setting SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym. It actually means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So goals really that don't have a time element to them are just dreams and wishes. What becomes a goal is once you put a timestamp to it, like I want to achieve this by XYZ time. So break down your big intentions into smaller, actionable steps that are specific and measurable. So it's very important to be able to scale. This way you can track your progress and stay motivated and ensure that you're making intentional strides towards your desired outcomes. Another thing to do is to really allocate your time. Identify your time wasters. Time, it is very elusive and it's truly the only commodity that we have. We all wish we had more of it, but once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get 15 minutes back. You can't get a year back. So be more intentional on how you spend your time. So really be in the assessment mode, I would say. Assess how you're currently spending your time. Are there any things that you're doing, any habits that you have that eat up a lot of your time without adding value to your life? Identify those time wasters and find ways to eliminate or minimize them. Like you might have that friend that every time you speak to them, it's like a 3-hour conversation. I have one like that. Well, you have to be like really, selfish about your time because, again, time is the only true commodity that we have. So instead of spending 3 hours on the phone, spend an hour or half an hour. By freeing up your schedule, you create space to focus on what truly matters. And you're able to make intentional use of your time. So really important. Another thing, kind of establish those healthy boundaries to protect your time and energy. This is really what I touched upon as well, like, having a friend or anything else that really sucks up your time. You need to set up boundaries so that, you don't have those issues anymore. When it comes to intentional living, you have to learn, to say no to things that don't align with your priorities or values. It's tough. For one, I hate saying no. I love to help people in any way that I can. But sometimes you just have to say no because there are other things that are more pressing and important. So protect your time and energy by setting limits on how much you give and take from others. Remember, it's not about being, selfish per se. It's about ensuring that you have the capacity to fulfill your intentions and live a more intentional and purpose-driven life. But I, will say this, it's okay to be a little bit, selfish with your time in terms of, being able to set those boundaries, because if not, you'll end up doing 100 things for everyone else and you won't have any time for you to work on your goals and things that give your life meaning. So kind of keep that in mind. Another thing that if you want to live with intentionality, you have to cultivate effective communication strategies. And that is also part of active listening. So intentionality extends to, what you're talking about and also how you're listening. So when you're engaged in a conversation, be fully there and give your undivided attention. There's like really nothing worse when you're talking to someone and they're fidgeting around and they're checking their text messages and voicemail. That is just really horrible. So by doing so, by just really giving them, your undivided attention and avoiding distractions and, really listening to what the other person is saying, you're showing them that you value their thoughts and feelings. So effective communication really fosters a deeper understanding and it strengthens relationships. The other thing that you should really do if you want to live with intentionality is declutter your physical and digital spaces. Sometimes our external environment can have a significant impact on our internal state. So embrace simplicity and minimalism by decluttering both your physical and digital spaces. Get rid of the excess stuff that no longer serves a purpose or brings you joy. I mean, I have a friend of mine that has like everything they've ever owned. I'm exaggerating, right? But they have so much clutter on their desk that I'm thinking, how do you get any work done at all? So get rid of the excess stuff that no longer serves a purpose. A clutter-free environment not only creates a sense of calm, but it also allows you to focus on what truly matters. Also, simplifying your lifestyle and eliminating excesses. So beyond decluttering, simplify your lifestyle. It involves eliminating excess in various aspects of your life. It means saying no to things that don't align with your values or goals. Take a step back and evaluate your commitments, your obligations, even your possessions. By simplifying, you create space for what truly matters, and you can direct your energy towards the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. So you know what those things are. I mean, you may have 101 things that you really don't need, you don't use, and you probably don't want anymore. So, hey, you can do someone a solid, right, by, giving some of those things away. Some people do, garage sale, and that I would never do it. Some people do, which is fine, You can do that, or you can just gift it, or you can donate it to the Salvation Army. But, really take inventory of the things that you have that you don't want, that you don't use, and that really serve no purpose. Another thing that you can do is really being grateful for the present moment. Take time each day to reflect on the things that you're grateful for and cultivate a grateful mindset. I spoke about this a little bit in a previous podcast titled A Lesson in Gratitude. And so I would urge you to listen to that podcast. This practice really helps shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering really a sense of contentment and fulfillment. Embrace the beauty around you and find joy in the simple pleasures of life. Really, a lot of things that we take for granted every day just bring so much joy if you just take a couple of minutes to really, take it all in. Something as simple as just, walking on the beach or just looking at the night sky with all its beautiful stars and the moon. Something as nice as just going fishing, going on a canoe ride, talking to a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while. I mean, these are all simple things that don't cost anything and really can bring a lot of joy into your life. Another thing that I would strongly encourage, if you really want to live a life that's more intentional and more productive, is to establish daily rituals and habits that support your goals. Intentions alone are not enough. It really is not. To truly live with intention, you need to create habits and routines that support your goals. Identify the actions that align with your intentions and turn them into daily practices, daily habits, whether it's journaling, exercising, or just practicing gratitude. Find what works for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Hey, maybe you want to go fishing every day. Maybe you love fishing. Maybe you love going out and, having lunch with your friends. Maybe you love watching movies. Maybe you like listening to music. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is that gives you peace, that makes you feel good, you should do that, and you should try to incorporate it in your daily routine. Consistency is key in turning intentions into reality. So those are things to really consider. And also, I would say overcoming obstacles is really important when you're trying to do something new, like maintaining consistency in your intentional everyday. So of course, we're always going to have obstacles and challenges that can really derail our best intentions. The key is to stay committed and find ways to overcome those hurdles. When you're faced with setbacks, reflect on why your intentions matter to you and find creative solutions to keep them alive. Surround yourself with a support system, with people that encourage you and hold you accountable at the same time, So you might want to share what you would like to do with a friend or, people that really care about you. And then you might, hey, tell them, kind of keep me, on the right track, keep me in check, I call them accountability partners. And sometimes they can really kind of shake those cobwebs off for you, So that might be something you might want to consider. Remember, even small steps in the right direction are progress. Incorporating intentional practices every day can have a profound impact and effect on your overall well-being and your sense of fulfillment. So by understanding the importance of intentionality and cultivating just gratitude and self-awareness, setting clear goals and priorities, practicing effective time management and boundaries, and also nurturing those meaningful relationships by being present when you're talking to someone and not, looking through your text messages and all this other stuff. All those things, and embracing simplicity and just, again, practicing gratitude and creating those habits that align with your intentions. All those things will help you experience a deeper sense of purpose and will help you live more authentically. Being intentional really means consciously making choices and taking deliberate actions that align with your values, with your goals, and with your priorities. It involves being present, self-aware, and purposeful in your thoughts, behaviors, and in your relationships. Overcoming obstacles and maintaining intentional practices requires perseverance and self-compassion. It can be helpful to identify potential barriers and create, like I said, a supportive environment and, just develop strategies to stay motivated and accountable. Additionally, just being flexible and adapting to different things that might come up and also to different practices to suit your evolving needs can help you navigate challenges and sustain intentional habits over the long term. I would also like to recommend a book to help you hone in on intentionality even further. Darren Hardy's Compound Effect. This book is a straightforward, no-nonsense approach to seizing life. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to favorite and rate the podcast, as it really does help boost it up. Until tomorrow, and have a great rest of your day.
I see a champion in you.
champion